Season 56, war number 10. Today we've matched up against 4 Loki, and the bans are Dazzler, Kushala, Onslaught, Symbiote Supreme, and Mojo. And my team today is going to be Purgatory, Count Nefaria, and Iron Man for the synergy with Count Nefaria. We're starting today on Path 5 against Adam Warlock on Node 5. I'm going to go ahead and boost up here, and yeah, this Adam shouldn't be a big issue. I think something goes a little haywire at the start, but we'll get to that in just a second. So, here, yeah, that was the main thing. I thought that the second hit he would throw into my block was going to be his first light attack, but in fact it was basically he went light attack, first medium, second light, which it's not what I expected it to happen. I didn't think that his combo would not reset when he dashed in at me, but yeah, that's kind of how it went. So I did lose a little bit of health at the start there, but it's okay because that's all that's really going to matter in this fight. I'm going to go for a special 2 here, use it as my knockdown, and then we'll get a nice ticking degen. Adam was a little stingy with his specials in this fight. You're going to see it multiple times. I think I'm going to lose Rampage right here. He just takes forever to throw it, so it just wastes a little bit of time, but we're still doing a good bit of damage even without being in Rampage because we're doing extra burst damage with the unblockable we get from countering his specials. It's just he still, takes forever to drop his specials for some reason, so that's annoying. I'll use my SP1 to get a knockdown, and then one more combo should kill him, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happens. So he goes down there, Cosmic Soul acquired, and we move on to this Negasonic Teenage Warhead on Node 14. Now, I was kind of worried about this fight. This was definitely the path fight I was worried about the most, because we don't really have any counter tools for this Negasonic. I just need to take it because I need a Mutant Soul for fights later. Maybe not needed, but because I'm actually going to take mutants later. But it was going to be beneficial for my next path if I had the Mutant Soul, so I took this Negasonic. And I had to special intercept at the start of the fight to get a knockdown from my special 1, because I used a PS1 boost. That's basically our strategy for the start of the fight, because we need to find a way to remove her evade, and we can't really do that via heavy attacks, because I can't parry her, and I can't counter her heavy. So we're going to be spamming special 1s when we need to get the evade on cooldown again, and eventually this is just what's going to happen. We're going to get to a special 2, and then she's just lights out because she has half a health pool, because Negasonic is very frail. Alright, next up we're going to fight this Chavez on Node, I don't know what this is. I genuinely don't remember. I think it's 24, the number. Okay, so we're taking this Purgatory. The Mystic Soul is usually the least essential soul for a lot of the fights that we're going to be using Purgatory for. Probably the Tech Soul, I guess, is the least impactful one because it's just extra damage, which she doesn't necessarily need. And the Mystic one's going to translate well for the Serpent fight upcoming. However, it was a fight that I knew she'd be good for, and I could solo pretty easily, so I might as well grab that Mystic Soul along the way. And the Skill Soul, which is the most important one for some of the fights we're going to be doing, is the fight after this Chavez. So, yeah, I was able to just get a free soul if I solo this Chavez here. And Count Nefaria wouldn't have been that great for this fight anyway because of Fisticuffs at the start. Once Fisticuffs would be gone, he'd be great for it, but yeah. And he'd also be very good for this Killmonger, quite frankly. Nefaria would be very good for this Monger, but we need the Skill Soul, so we're going to ramp it. My PS1 boost still carried over from Negasonic to Chavez to Killmonger. Usually I don't have a gray boost last 3 fights in a row, so that was a nice change of pace, I guess. But yeah, this fight, we don't really have counter tools for this either. The Mystic Soul was very good there because we took 10k block damage each of those blade hits, but we regened a good bit of that back, so we're still at 93% after that, which is awesome. So I'm going to go for a special 2 here. We have reverb on cooldown now, but I did take a little bit of reverb damage from the first hit. The first hit is the only contact hit in Purgatory special 2, so there you see me whiff it intentionally, so that I'm triggering reverb on the non-contact hits, so none of it's actually getting reflected. So now I'm in the corner here. Took a little bit of block damage, but we kind of regen most of it back anyway. and then he's going to die right here with this special 2, and then we lock in the skill soul. So we got our soul capturing done. Now let's go bank those souls and like use the utility that came from them to fight the mini bosses, starting with this weapon X here. The skill soul is very impactful for this one because it's kind of the sole reason you're able to do this fight, because this has Footloose, weapon X has natural, unstoppable as well. So if we're able to get the slow up from the skill soul, then we are really having a good time for that. Because that's kind of why we're taking this fight, because we have that passive slow, and once we get the passive slow active, the fight's kind of shut down. So the reason I was slow playing it so much at the start is because I want to get to my special 2 before he's in Rampage, so that when my degen expires right here, he is going to go into Berserk mode and have a passive slow on him. So watch what happens here. He throws it, and just like that, he doesn't have the unstoppable anymore. Another funny thing that happened was when I countered the special, because I'm a Coda attacker, I removed his unblockable from Berserk, which I never thought would happen. But yeah, the way the tactic attack is coded is you remove all unblockables from the defender, which I've heard is bugged on some nodes because I had an Alliance member die because the unblockable wasn't removed from the node on node 34. So yeah, it removes weapon X's unblockable, but some of them not, I guess. I don't know, because of the bugs. You know, whatever. So yeah. Okay, now we're going to fight this Onslaught on node 41. Funny thing was, I originally assigned myself this fight with Purgatory, and then last second I was like, I feel safer doing this with Nefaria. Not because Purgatory wouldn't completely annihilate this fight, because I genuinely think she would. It's just that if things go wrong, Nefaria, at least Nefaria like doesn't die, because he's like the immortal king. His damage is well, not his damage. I'm sorry. His ability to resist damage is kind of insane. And I'm speeding this fight up because his damage versus Onslaught specifically is not insane. Like, he's a very good Onslaught counter because of the fact that he's extremely tanky, has degen resist, energy resist, all this stuff. But he doesn't really do a lot of damage to Onslaught because you're never able to get your energy vulnerability, which is a massive part of his damage. And also the Incinerate you're placing on Special 2, it's not doing damage either. On the flip side, the Neuros that are being placed on you because of the Incinerate don't really do much damage, because you can see I have like 8 on them. I had like 8 of them on me at one point, and I'm still like extremely healthy. So yeah, that part doesn't matter. We go for SP2s for the Furies rather than the Incinerate, and then the Incinerate replacing Onslaught is not that much of a penalty. So yeah, the fight goes down in just over 2 minutes, full health it, so I probably saved some potions by doing it with Nefaria, just, sold a little bit on fight time, which, depending on what I'm more worried about, I'd say that was a reasonable decision. So now we're going to fight this Deathless Thanos on node 43. Purgatory completely rips this fight apart. We're Incinerate immune, so I can hit him freely in the Incinerate phase. During the Shock phase, we can hit him sometimes as well because we have 40% base energy resistance, so I'm not as worried about it as I would be with some other champs. And then if we get the Skill Soul activated, we can go for a Special 2, and then it's going to place a slow after the degen from it expires. Made a mistake there and did one too many hits to cause him to go unstoppable at that point, but now that the degen has expired, we basically have him slowed for the rest of the fight. There was another intentional whiff on the first part of my Special 2 just to have less hits that would place a shock on me. And then I believe I do the exact same thing here. Intentional whiff, switch to Incinerate phase, then we're just immune to it. And Thanos isn't really doing anything now. And then I'm going to go for another Special 2, and this might outright kill him. It does not. The degen's probably going to finish him off though, and yeah, I'm just going to let it do its thing, and then the fight is down. Okay, revenge fight. We're going to fight the node 46 Serpent. The fight that took away my Deathless season, entirely due to user error, by the way. I made an extremely stupid decision in this fight, and yeah, I just lost my Deathless season because I did a stupid thing. But yeah, we're going to try to avenge myself, I guess I should say. And yeah, we're going to get to this special 3, get the big power gain going, and at that point, we're crossing so many bars of power, we're nullifying a bunch of Serpent's buffs, neutralizing a bunch of Serpent's buffs as well. The Mutant Soul is allowing us to steal a bunch of his power. The Mystic Soul is allowing us to regen the block damage we're taking from his specials. The Skill Soul doesn't do anything, but the Cosmic one is also always in play anyway, because we're fighting a Cosmic champ. So now we have the big power gain, we have power back boost going. Now we're going to start spamming special 2s. Because we just have so much power gain, we can do that. And also, we're preventing a lot of Serpent's power gain via neutralize and nullify. Now, some of the buffs are still going to slip through because of the fact that every time he crosses a bar of power, he's increasing his own ability accuracy via Aspect of Evolution. At the same time, we're still getting a lot of them, and I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end, but the neutralize is going to come through very nicely. We're running an invul boost because the goal is usually to push Serpent to a special 3 at the end of the fight, but as you're going to see here, neutralize stopped his death immunity, which honestly was a quite low chance because he crossed many bars of power, and my neutralize is capped at 100. So you have 25% chance from his sig ability itself, and then 5% more per time he crossed a bar of power. So honestly, the chance was extremely low, but we actually got it, which is pretty great. Okay, now we're gonna fight this Enchantress war boss. I'm speeding this fight up because I've done this boss many times and I don't feel like talking over it that much again. It's just Nefaria. He's so tanky. He's not even like the greatest Enchantress counter. It's just, he just doesn't die. We're willpower siphoning. We have a bajillion resistances. And we're going to be invul tanking her special 3 if we can help it, which is usually the strategy for fighting an Enchantress boss with almost any champ. So yeah, another special one here. We have a good bit of charges. Enchantress, you know, she's not dying extremely fast. This is just like the Onslaught, where it's another fight where Nefaria cannot utilize his energy vulnerability from his evade, which gives us like double the damage, by the way, if you just have like 1 energy vulnerability. Maybe it's not double, but it's like extremely noticeable damage difference. So if you have the ability to actually go for it, then you should, because yeah, it's pretty insane. We did get like a 70k crit at the tail end of that special 2 though, which is great. The Furies you're getting are still massive attack modifiers even without the energy vulnerability, and yeah, she goes down just like that in just under 3 minutes. Full health it, 2 Nefaria fights, 2 full health fights, so that's pretty cool. We did lose the war. They died half the amount of times we did. 18 deaths is a lot for us. We usually had the number much lower, but there was just a bunch of crap going on with some of the guys this war, unfortunately. We had an off war. I mean, it happens, I guess. But yeah, luckily this wasn't a must win. We should have Masters in the bag, even if we lose our next 2, but definitely to lock it in, we need 1. But I think there might be a chance we get in even if we lose the next 2, because we did win War 1, but we didn't get the rating from it because of the bugs. So we are actually higher than we should be on the leaderboard right now. Or we're lower than we should be on the leaderboard right now, I should say. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.